They didn't cut the check, so I cut the camera. It's done.
That didn't go as planned, did it?
No.
I like my excuse better, but if you guys want to go with your excuse of, hey, it was working on my end. I shot you the pictures of it, so.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Probably done what Clay's doing wrong.
Dude,
No, gotta be right.
stop making radio people TV people, for crying out loud. We invented radio for a reason. Radio.
Yeah, well, we're here anyways, right?
Well, hey, good to have you guys on a nice earlier time here since we're out of the Twins season. Councilwoman from New York City facing controversy after bringing a firearm to a rally. You can't do that in New York City. How dare you?
I think you should do it anywhere. I'm
Well,
fine
of
with
course,
it, but,
that's the Second Amendment says that, but far be it from the Bill of Rights or whatever to get in the way.
yeah, whatever that whole thing is, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was years ago.
Tons of years.
That old thing, really?
New York City Councilwoman Ina Vernikoff, they arrested her after she was identified carrying a firearm at a pro-Palestinian rally, which she's not pro-Palestinian, she's pro-Israeli, but she was there.
Well, there's your problem right there. If she'd have been pro-Palestinian, they'd have let her get away with it.
It seems like it, right?
Right. I mean, isn't that kind of the way it's going?
I mean, sort of. I mean, it's kind of turning around on some of these college campuses now where they're actually starting to go against the pro-Palestinian people, which shocks me, but, good to see either way. But, yeah, she was carrying her right out in the open, visibly, recorded, was legally owned handgun, of course, and she had a carrying permit, which you need in New York against the Bruin decision, of course. But it looked like a Glock to me, actually. And I think she was carrying it, like I said, because she was pro-Israeli and this pro-Palestinian. Obviously afraid for her safety. These people have shown they're quite violent, so I can't blame her for doing that, or anybody for whatever reason if you want to carry a pistol for that matter. But, of course, Todd, the New York City Council Speaker, Adrienne Adams, said it's unacceptable and unacceptable. That's the first part of it, she said, and unlawful for a civilian to ever bring a firearm to a rally or protest, which I disagree with. You should be able to do that. Like nobody's ever been shot at a political rally, right? You know who Bobby Kennedy is?
Yeah.
Is he the guy? Is he the guy running as an independent in this election? That guy?
Yeah,
Sorry.
he's kind of flip-flopping back and forth on the gun rights thing too, but whatever. And then, of course, we've talked about here before, Governor Kathy Hochul reinforced the statement from the New York City Council Speaker. New York's gun safety laws apply to everyone. Insinuating that this lady, Vernikoff, thought she was above the law, which she's not. She had to turn in the NYPD contacted her. She had to turn in her gun and her permit. And why would you have to turn your gun? And I don't get that. It's if you violated the law, then give them a ticket. It's not like she's a prohibited person anymore. I mean, if you're going to pull her permit, I guess whatever.
Did you know that if you got rid of a gun, you could get another one?
No, that's impossible. What are you talking about?
That's like taking cars away from people for drunk driving or whatever the reason is. I own 2 cars.
Hey, Todd, if Joe Biden says I need to turn in 10 guns, how many do I have left?
I don't know how many guns you own, 10. But I know you own more than 10.
10. I still have 10 guns.
Okay. That's a trick question. How many do you have? Too many, according to Joe Biden.
One's too many.
I have to turn in 10 guns. How many do I have left? 200. I just increased it by that.
I guess. So what they charged her with was a Class E felony, and under New York law, that's going to disqualify her if she's actually convicted of it from holding elected office. And of course, this Amber Elder, who's Vernikoff's Democrat opponent in the upcoming council elections, wants the city council to cast a vote seeking Vernikoff's expulsion. So I don't know if this Vernikoff is I find it hard to believe that any city council person in New York would be a Republican, but I never looked into her too far. But her Democratic opponent, I don't know if another Democrat, maybe it's a Palestinian Democrat for all I know. But who knows? You know, and this Vernikov, I guess she is an outspoken supporter of Israel. So,
you know, if you can't run in New York, I think we still have 49, give or take, other states, right?
Yeah, or other cities in New York that are probably good, pro-American cities instead of anti-American New York.
That's a good point.
But, I like seeing it when people stand up for their rights like that. And you guys probably agree with me on that. So that's great. It's too bad more of the city council people wouldn't do that.
Well, coming up, we've got the Dakota Farm and Ranch report here in just a sec. Jesse's got KFYR Radio News in a moment. But when we come back with Guns in the 701, get this. There's a kind of gun they cannot possibly take away from you. short of actually cutting it out of your hand. And yet they still want to make that one outlawed. Yeah. Oh, good grief.
Mitchell in the morning, KFYR 550.
Economist drought models are predicting higher corn and soybean yields. We'll look into why next on the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report.
Want to send a voice message to your favorite iHeartRadio personality? Just say, Alexa, send a talkback. Then specify the radio station and share what's on your mind to join the conversation. Talkback is free on your iHeartRadio app and Amazon Alexa devices.
Think identity theft won't happen to you? Think again. There's a new victim every 3 seconds in the U.S., over 15 million this year alone, and many don't even know they're victims. LifeLock alerts you to identity threats you could miss, even when you monitor your credit. If your identity is stolen, your dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% off their first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppable bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent beads.
In this week's Marketers Report, Dana Nussbaum, Executive Vice President, Worldwide Marketing at Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on regional audio marketing and the movies.
Everything that we are doing is incredibly data-driven. We are getting signals in every single day about how specific audiences are performing. So although we're marketing at a very broad scale, and that does include specific local markets, that's really the beauty of iHeart's network. You're not serving the same message to a consumer in Nashville necessarily that you may be in New York. You have the ability to be very specific and very personalized, but at a tremendous scale.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local, every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
With the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report, I'm Scott Bachmeyer. How much does the weekly drought monitor distort thinking about the potential harvest in rural America? That's the question the staff at Ag Economic Insights tried to answer in a recent study. Economist Dave Widmer talks about the model that they put together this spring to find some of those answers.
In the past, we've looked at the relationship between percentage of the country and drought and the final yield, and there's just not a good, strong relationship between those two variables. Contrary to what we might think when we look at those maps, at the beginning of this year, the model we worked on was an innovative way of thinking about droughts. The takeaway here is that, and a lot of times, it's the change in drought conditions that might tell us more about the yield impact than the drought magnitude in and of itself. So that makes sense. If you get timely rains, the drought conditions might persist, but the crop could still be moving forward. But if the drought is magnifying, that signals deteriorating crops. or the drought is improving, maybe the crops are improving. So that was the genesis of this.
He also talked about what they learned from this entire study.
While the model results we're not necessarily thrilled with, what we did learn from the model, even though drought conditions in June of this year were arguably worse than they were in June of 2012, this model was telling us we had to keep an eye on the change in drought conditions. And what we saw this year is that the drought conditions didn't get worse. They, in some cases, abated a little bit. They subsided. And so that is part of this story.
With the Dakota Farm and Ranch Report, I'm Scott Bachmeyer.
Good morning. Here is your AccuWeather farm field forecast. Today, looking for sunny skies, windy, a high today at 73. Winds will be from the north with wind speeds of 10 to 15 miles per hour. Humidity at 92%. Dew point 40. Soil temperature at 48 degrees. Sunrise at 8:07 a.m. Sunset at 6:47 p.m. That's your farm field forecast. I'm Steve Williams for AccuWeather.
KFYR, your ag authority.
And now to the chopper for our traffic report.
There's a lot of traffic. It must be headed to Meijer for the Buy 5, Save $5 sale. Shop Deli Fresher Carving Board Lunch Meat, General Mills Family Size Cereal, and Pepperidge Farm Goldfish. All Buy 5, Save $5. Mix or match at Meijer.
Okay.
Deals so good, you've just gotta talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Mine the depths of God's Word and ignite your faith with Pray.com's new podcast, The Heartbeat of Faith, with me, Dr. Andrew Farley.
The beast raged against him, but he was not equal to the Lord of Lords. God's chosen hero, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, had defeated evil once and for all.
Listen to The Heartbeat of Faith on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Game at my place?
'Tis the season, the football season.
Gathering for the game, food on every tray.
This buffalo dip so good.
Philly green cheese all the way. Oscar Mayer inside buns, or Ryder fries with Heinz.
What fun it is to watch and shout with food of every kind.
Oh, football-a-days, football-a-days, football-a-days are here. Oh, what yum it is to share Velveeta dip with cheers.
Celebrate the football-a-days with all your game day faves at Walmart.
KFYR.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The Republicans' nominee for House Speaker Jim Jordan says it's time for the House to get back to work.
The quickest way to get all this working is to get a speaker elected. That's what I hope we can do today.
He's come up short in 2 votes for Speaker so far, with 20 Republicans against him Tuesday, 22 Wednesday.
Picked up a few, we lost a few. I think the ones we lost can come back.
He says the plan is to hold more votes this weekend if necessary. One thing the House has to deal with is President Biden's security spending package request, including more money for Ukraine's fight against Russia and Israel's fight against Hamas terrorists.
We cannot and will not let terrorists like Hamas and tyrants like Putin win.
And there have been more Israeli airstrikes in Gaza ahead of an expected ground invasion.
Israeli society is very, very prepared for a long fight against this terrorist organization.
Israeli Defense Forces Lieutenant Colonel Peter Lerner on Fox. An Israeli town to the north is evacuated to protect against Hezbollah rockets fired from Lebanon. America's listening to Fox News.
And now, from North Dakota's news authority, Jesse Rostvent, KFYR Radio News.
Good morning, 8:31 here at KFYR. Bismarck, 39 degrees. Clipper system moving across Manitoba, bringing in windy conditions to the region today as temperatures remaining seasonably mild. Afternoon highs ranging from the lower 60s into the mid-70s. AccuWeather calling for a high of 73 in Bismarck today. Mild and dry weather continuing through the weekend. Big changes in store next week as temperatures forecast to trend much cooler. Daytime highs maybe just into the 30s and 40s for the second half of next week, as periodic chances for precipitation also in the forecast, bringing possible snow later in the week. A man who's on supervised probation in connection to a Morton County car chase now facing drug charges in Burleigh County. Bismarck police called to University Drive earlier this week on a report of an unwanted subject and encountered 34-year-old Richard Blackcloud when they arrived. According to reports, officers found him in possession of meth and drug paraphernalia, and he was arrested. Arrest coming after he pleaded guilty in July to charges stemming from an incident in which he led police on a high-speed pursuit through Morton County. In that case, Blackcloud was given a deferred sentence and 2 years supervised probation. Burley County State's attorney has made a motion to dismiss a child neglect case against a Bismarck woman. Cassandra Black Elk originally pleaded guilty to child neglect in the death of her baby last year and sentenced to 18 months in prison. But later autopsy results revealed the child's death was listed as unexplained sudden death. North Dakota Supreme Court upheld the district judge's decision to grant Black Elk a new trial, saying she received bad advice in pleading guilty. Motion to dismiss must now be signed by a judge. Minot police say they've now arrested a man who crashed a vehicle into Broadway Liquor earlier this week. 24-year-old Jonathan Thomas Taylor is charged with criminal vehicular injury, duty in an accident involving injury, criminal mischief, leaving the scene of a vehicle damage accident, and aggravated reckless driving. Crash left 27-year-old liquor store employee Lacey Ronigan with serious injuries as she has since been moved out of the ICU. Police still investigating what led up to the crash. A Minot man will serve life without parole for a fatal shooting that happened last February. In June of this year, 35-year-old Matthew Anderson was found guilty of murder in the shooting death of 42-year-old Wade Goodell. His sentence was handed down yesterday, while Anderson's attorney asked for a sentence of 30 years, half suspended. The judge granted the state's request for life without parole, calling the killing chilling and cold-blooded. Goodell's wife, Regina Goodell, was convicted of accomplice to murder in the case in a joint trial with Anderson, and she'll be sentenced November 1st. Man has been charged for his role in an alleged armed robbery that occurred in Fargo. According to police, it happened in late September at an apartment complex along 10th Street South. The victim was visiting her sister there when Thorin Azure reportedly lured her next door, telling her he wanted to give her something. And according to the victim, Azure allegedly then pulled out a knife and tried to take her purse, while two other men punched and kicked her. Robbery was interrupted by a resident of the complex, causing the three men to flee. Azure is charged with attempted robbery and conspiracy to commit robbery with an accomplice. 8:35 here at KFYR. We'll take another look at weather after this.
Ever wanted to chat it up with your favorite iHeartRadio personality? It's easy. Use the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app or on your Amazon Alexa-enabled devices. Just say, Alexa, send a TalkBack. Then specify the radio station and record what's on your mind to join the conversation like never before. Your voice message will be delivered directly to the studio, and TalkBack is totally free. So now you can listen to what you love and talk back for free on your iHeartRadio app and Amazon Alexa devices.
And now to the chopper for our traffic report.
There's a lot of traffic. It must be headed to Meijer for the Buy 5, Save $5 sale. Shop Deli Fresher Carving Board Lunch Meat, General Mills Family Size Cereal, and Pepperidge Farm Goldfish. All Buy 5, Save $5. Mix or match at Meijer.
Okay.
Deals so good, you've just got to talk about them. Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
If you're looking for fast fun and a chance to win big cash prizes, you need to get in the game with the Illinois Lottery and Fast Play. You can play these speedy games anywhere in the state, online or on the Illinois Lottery app. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 or older to play. Game odds are available at IllinoisLottery.com.
This is Kentucky, where the only thing ordinary is the unexpected. Come see for yourself. Plan your road trip at KentuckyTourism.com.
I got everything you need.
Here's your AccuWeather forecast. Sunny, windy, warm day today. The high 73. Clear tonight, low 38. Partly sunny, cooler, pleasant day tomorrow. The high Saturday at 61. Clouds on Saturday night with the low at 40. Clouds windy and mild on Sunday. The high Monday at 65. For Monday, windy, much cooler day, periods of rain. The high Monday afternoon, 51. Get your weather news when and how you want it from AccuWeather.com with your AccuWeather forecast. I'm Steve Williams.
Yesterday's high in Bismarck, 72, the low 41, average high and low this time of year 55 and 31. Record high of 82 set on this day in 1875. Then again in 1901, the record low of 13 set in 1896. Then again in 1916. Sunset tonight 6:47. Sunrise tomorrow morning 8:09. And right now in Bismarck, clear and sunny sky, no wind. It is 39. I'm Jesse Rostvat, KFYR Radio, your news and weather authority.
Back to Guns in 701 in just a moment. And, well, you know how they say, you'll have to take my gun from my cold, dead hands? I can do one worse. Actually, I'll let them do it next here on KFYR.
Hold up. I'm eating breakfast right now, and you need to hear about this. Have you ever tried Daily Harvest? My mind is literally blown. I'm enjoying a strawberry peach smoothie made with strawberries, peaches, goji berries, raspberries, and gluten-free oats. Wow. Just wow. It's a fruit explosion. I also got this oat bowl from Daily Harvest. So delicious. There's real fruit in here, and even some veggies. It's not freeze-dried or artificially flavored. Sorry, I just can't believe how delicious everything is. I want to start every morning like this. Daily Harvest meals are quick, nourishing, and so flipping good. They're made of sustainably sourced fruits and veggies and delivered right to my door. You got to get in on this. Go to dailyharvest.com and enter promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off your first order. That's dailyharvest.com, promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off. Again, dailyharvest.com, promo code HARVEST for up to $65 off.
I was crossing the street when I met the love of my life. I chased after her. Nothing would stand in my way. Not the dog walker, nor the hot dog vendor. Finally reaching her, I asked, "What do you call that amazing smell?"
It's Gain Flings.
Gain Flings. My love had a name, but more importantly, it had a scent.
Fall in love with Gain Flings. Seriously good scent.
Try Gain Flings today with special savings at Family Dollar.
In this week's Marketers Report, Chris Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer at Chipotle Mexican Grill, weighs in on the power of audio.
We've used audio to reinforce what we're showing on TV, what we're showing in other digital channels. When your priority is driving reach, boy, everybody seems to listen to the radio.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Mine the depths of God's Word and ignite your faith with Pray.com's new podcast, The Heartbeat of Faith, with me, Dr. Andrew Farley.
The beast raged against him, but he was not equal to the Lord of Lords. God's chosen hero, the Messiah, Jesus Christ, had defeated evil once and for all.
Listen to The Heartbeat of Faith on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The free iHeartRadio app is #1 for music, radio, and podcasts all in one. Discover a new podcast from our library of hundreds of thousands of titles. Here's an iHeartRadio podcast preview.
This is Blind Spot, The Road to 9/11. I'm Jim O'Grady.
The magnitude and the significance of this threat was communicated over and over again.
We'll follow the investigators, the bureaucrats, and beat cops who chase disturbing clues about a new kind of enemy.
I don't want to use the word panic, but the sudden chilling feeling a devastating plot might well be underway.
Let's penetrate his cell and find out what's really going on.
I have lived with Osama bin Laden for more than 12 years, very close to him.
If you wanted him dead, he would have been dead 2 years ago for 50 cents in one round of ammunition.
I was so very angry, and I promised him revenge.
This is also a story about small moments when flawed human beings made decisions under terrible pressure with partial information.
Look, it's always easy in hindsight to say it's a big mistake.
Of course, we couldn't connect the dots. There were so many dots. The whole page was black.
It's about a disaster that some saw coming but didn't respond to until too late.
I said, I told you these bastards are coming back.
Blind Spot, The Road to 9/11.
Listen and follow this podcast for free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one app.
842 KFYR guns in the 701. You know the saying, you're going to have to pry that gun out of my dead cold hand. Well, apparently that's not good enough, and it's now been made in Alabama a crime to have the kind of gun that they'd actually have to cut out of your hand. Cut your hand.
Yeah, it's
really?
crazy. This is crazy. And this goes back to this whole zero tolerance crap that we've been hearing in schools for going on over a decade now. Yeah, this is down
in Bagley Elementary School in Jefferson County, Alabama. Basically, Jared Beckler, I believe is how you pronounce his name, his 6-year-old son, JB, they were out in the playground being boys, right? Playing cops and robbers. Well, somebody didn't like that, so they reported his child to the administrators within that school, and they decided that he committed a Class 3 infraction by using his fingers to shoot at another student. So, bang, bang, like we all used to do as kids, probably
The
playing
finger
cowboys
gun.
and
That's
yeah,
illegal
finger
now.
gun.
Great. Fine,
It's
take
crazy
it.
stuff.
I'll quit doing it if you can take it.
Yeah, I mean, and then they sent, they sent a letter to the Jefferson County school officials, and the attorney that Beckler hired, and I'm glad he got one, and Gun Owners of America teamed up on this too, and they demanded that this school immediately and publicly confirm it will remove any record of this infraction with disciplinary action or any sort of report. And I know where they're going with this, guys. What they actually put in his permanent record, that'll follow this child, from 6 years old playing a game on the playground into his adulthood. Yep. And I imagine it could even, if he ever wanted to buy a firearm after he gets to be an adult, I imagine that would pop up in his 4473. And that's the problem with this kind of stuff. It's just insane.
I could just see the conversation at the gun store. Did you do a finger gun thing back in the...
Yeah, I know it. So, and here's how,
what else are...
Go ahead, Jamie.
Go ahead, Clayton. I was going to say, the school staff said the kids playing, this JB and his buddy, they did not disrupt any class activities, did not interfere with school functions in any way, and did not threaten any other students. But yet they still did that to this kid, this Class 3 infraction. But, it's his buddy got charged with the same thing, which is ridiculous. It wasn't a threat to anybody, but like you said, it probably wasn't even another student. It was probably some leftist Karen who was out watching the playground saw it and freaked out about it.
Yeah, and the assistant principal, Donna Page, probably some leftist, because that seems like what they all are anymore in there. She's the one that basically, she doesn't have any insight. She doesn't have any judgment on ordinary kids play with all that child education courses she's taken over her life to get to that position. Evidently, they don't teach about that. And, we've been seeing this for years in these schools districts. I mean, I read our own handbook here, where my children go in Lemon. And in all honesty, I've questioned them. I've been to the school board meeting. They haven't changed it. But some of the things they have in there under their zero tolerance policy could be construed in the same way. And that's what's insane. This is everywhere. It's like all these schools, they get this stuff, and they right away, got to put in our policy books. And, well, you know what? They can cram their policy book. My son wears a Guns and 701 crossed AR sweatshirt to school, kind of like a light jacket every day, not a peep out of them. So that they made the right decision there.
Yeah, they did actually downgrade it to a Class 2 infraction. But like you said, Clay, the attorney's letter and Gunners of America want all of this, just expunged and basically erased, and
they need to.
So the attorney said it's too little too late. I don't care what you put it down to. It's too little too late. We're taking action here, and I'm glad they are.
Yeah, and I like what the father said in the end. He goes, think about this. He says, the school should confirm that they will allow age-appropriate context, not playtime activities, right? And then he goes on, he talks about how, for 600 years, there's been, guns and there's never been a murder or anything done in the school, but yet there's been many noses that have been broken by fists, and that's actually a lower violation. It's a Class 2 violation in their handbook than the finger gun. Yeah. So if you get in a fight with a student, and I love how they have these Class 2 and Class 3 violations like it's law. So they're already trying to put it up on these kids that this is, just like the law, don't break it, rather than policy, which is not law. And, it's all about, grooming kids to submit to anything and everything, and I got a big problem with that.
No.
Heck, I remember we were in school, we built snow forts, and we were throwing hand grenades at each other, so I wonder what they'd call that, a Class 4 violation.
Heck, James, we took it even a step further. That wasn't good enough to have snow. We'd go there in the evening, seeing we lived not too far from the school, and pour a little water over them snow forts so they were like ice. We made a heck of a border wall.
I'm sure you can't even make a snow ball and throw it anymore, because
probably not. That'd be fun.
No way.
Guns of the 701 here on KFYR's 847. Hamas slams Israel's fascist calls for settlers to carry guns. Oh, yeah. Only the terrorists get to have them. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, that's great. Gaza, Hamas doesn't mind when they got them and they can fly in on their gliders and just start raining bullets on people, kicking their doors in and doing what they want and all sorts of other atrocities. But, yeah, so Hamas, they censored the Israeli police officers for their repeated, like you said, Todd, fascist calls for the settlers. I'm sure the police really care they were censored by Hamas, right? The Israeli police. That really concerns them and disappoints.
How dare you!
In a statement, Hamas spokesman Hazim Qasim, I think that's how it is. I'm sorry, Mr. Qasim, if I didn't pronounce your name correctly.
He's going to come find you.
Said the renewed calls on settlers to bear arms are a public incitement to murder that encourages the Jewish extremists to commit further crimes against Palestinian people. Wait a minute. What just happened here? They're the ones who flew over the big wall, right, and started killing people, like I said. So I don't know how he's saying that's going to incite further murders by the Jews against the Palestinians.
Well, you never know.
That's a hard one to explain. And of course, earlier the Palestinian Minister of Foreign Affairs warned about increasing calls for Israeli settlers to carry guns, terming it racist incitement against Palestinians. These guys are like Democrats. They're accusing you of something that they're doing. It's unbelievable. Remember when Rush used to say that?
Yes.
I mean, this is exactly what it sounds like they're doing. And of course, they held, the Israeli regime, particularly their minister. I think we talked about this guy, this Ben Gvir, didn't we talk about him? He wanted to relax the gun laws. Yeah, they blamed him for the fault, for the moves that these police are doing, which whatever. He's not going nearly far enough after we went over what he said. And the data in Israel, there's only like 160,000 people in that country that carry guns. 9.2 million population is the latest I could find. So to me, that's not even close to enough guns, especially when your neighbors want to kill you all the time.
Yeah, we did discuss that and talked about how they were relaxing gun control, because people don't realize, and we'll mention it again, that Israel has some pretty strict regulations on firearms and firearm ownership. But it's a start. Maybe it'll make them wake up a little bit and show that basically an armed civilian is going to be your first line of defense in an attack like that, and it would have been, but they didn't have the.
Well, yeah, now you can have 100 rounds of bullets, Clay, instead of 50. That's really relaxing. I know there was a move over there to get like an NRA or something going, but it was met with a lot of resistance. But my guess is now that's probably going to move forward a lot faster and without resistance here. And as it should, they should actually get some. I don't know if Israel has a constitution or what they do over there, but they definitely should have something like that to guarantee their people the right to own guns and defend them. Every country should, really, but as of right now, Israel definitely should be doing that.
Guns of the 701 here on KFYR. One more before we got to go. Oregon gun shop refuses to sell firearm to ANTIFA-affiliated man.
Yeah. This guy is Mark Innafelli. I think that's how you pronounce his name. These guys with all these names are horrible. There you go. He's a self-proclaimed member of Antifa. So he purchased a firearm online, the way the article is written here, and then he went to Florence Gun Shop to go and pick it up.
Hold on, Clay. Hold on, Clayton. I thought they could just buy them online and they deliver it right to your house. Isn't that what the Democrats?
Completely unregulated industry. They're just everywhere. Yeah.
All right,
you don't know. Yeah, you still got to go to go to an FFL and get a 4473. Anyway, he goes to Florence Gun Shop, and they refuse service to him to do a background check, which, of course, as we all know, that's required for a sale, right, from any FFL or new firearm. He purchased it online in Colorado, then claims that the background check after he had provided them with a business card that included several links to self-defense websites. Oh, so? I mean, it doesn't matter. But one included one that was operated by Portland's Rose City Antifa. And it's because of that business card, the owner said no, he just wasn't comfortable with that, and he decided not to proceed. Well, this guy believes that the gun shop violated his Second Amendment rights, which he did not. For anybody that doesn't know in the firearms industry, if you're an FFL dealer, you have the right to refuse a background check or a sale to anybody, no matter what the reason is, basically. If they feel there's something suspicious, something not right, something uncomfortable, they are actually not supposed to basically let you purchase that firearm. That's their job, to kind of be that buffer. And this guy is claiming that it's a Second Amendment violation because he can't fill out the paperwork. He says it's their job to sell guns and that they should do it. Well, he's finding out that that's not true. I don't know where this is going to go, if he's going to try to sue the gun shop or not. I didn't see anything in this article that really said that. But it is not an infringement on his rights. And if you want to affiliate with terrorist groups, which Antifa, BLM, and all them are, then I guess you can suffer the consequences.
I'd add a few things to this, Clayton. He just, like you said, this INSL or incel, whatever. He said it's the guy's job to sell guns. No, it's his business. He owns the business. It's not his job. The government didn't say your job is to sell guns. It's his business. So if he doesn't say no. And number two, this guy is a Democrat. He's gender confused. You look at him by his picture, I guarantee you this guy's a gender confused leftist. When you vote for a political party that wants to get rid of your Second Amendment rights, you shouldn't even be able to exercise your Second Amendment rights, dude. So put a little thought into it here. If you vote for people who want to take guns away, you shouldn't own them either. So this guy can go pound sand as far as I'm concerned. Antifa is a scumbag organization. They're a bunch of, they beat the hell out of Andy No there, and he actually in Portland, he won a lawsuit for $300,000 against him just because he was videotaping all their destruction and their anti-American activities. So if you're an Antifa member, I don't think you should own a gun unless you got it illegally.
Guns in the 701. Hey, when do those Don't Finger Bang That Hurts Me t-shirts coming out, by the way?
There we go. There does it again.
I'm hurt by finger banging. Oh, well, just go to your safe space. It'll be okay. Guns of the 701, 8:15 on Friday mornings, and Wednesday night's the new video, right?
Yep, we had live stream 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, 7 o'clock Central Time, and then we get that right up on the iHeart podcast and wherever else you get your information.
There isn't any place else?
I missed Wednesday's show because I had a little allergic reaction, and Clay had a guest on, a rancher from the border. It was some great information. And this
You're allergic to that?
No, I was allergic to something. I don't know what it was, but my lips swelled up. So I was off. And this Wednesday I won't be on the live stream either, but Friday I will be joining the show, and from an undisclosed location at this point. I will let you know. And 3 weeks from now, baby, deer season opens. I'm already jacked up.
He's going to go to Alabama to see if he can finger bang. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thank you, Todd.
Guns in the 701. Don't finger bang. It hurts me.